Hey guys, hope everyone is having a good day today. Such a beautiful day out today. Be out here enjoying this beauty. Anyway, today I want to talk about taking care of yourselves. So, this this body that we have, this vessel, this means of communication that we utilize to express ourselves here. We should really take good care of that. It's very important that we take care of us here, physically speaking. And I know that that's easier said than done in this day and age because of how the world is and how convenient things can be. But we should really be mindful of, you know, the things we eat, the things we drink. It all has very impactful repercussions in our lives sometimes. And I believe that, you know, the foods and the drinks that we ingest, they have their own frequency because that's how the universe works. So if we're, you know, ingesting things that don't really align with the way we want to live our lives, we may be hampering certain things within ourselves. And I'm not here to, you know, tell you you should be vegan, you shouldn't eat meat, this and that. No, that's not what I'm saying. We all know what is good for us. I always make a point to be thankful of what I'm eating, whatever that may be. Also, when we cook our own meal, you know, make sure you're doing that with your own love and your own care, because all these little things matter in so many ways. Remember that food that your mother used to make or still makes, your grandmother or your grandfather, whoever was the one cooking at the time. You know, I was fortunate enough to be in a family as I was growing up where everyone knew how to cook and they were good at it. So I loved watching them make their own food, and I learned a lot from it myself. I think I started cooking between 10 and 11 because at the time I had joined the Boy Scouts, and you know, we used to camp and do things and stuff. So you know, I really liked to be the one who would make the food, and there was a lot of trial and error involved, but it was such a fun thing. and now, I can make anything I want to make. And when I make my own stuff, sometimes I like to look at other people's things, and you know, if it's something that I like to eat, I'll I'll get a recipe from somewhere else, someone else, and I'll add my own twist to it, and it's great. But like I was saying, those foods that you love that someone else in your family made for you. Why do you think you loved that so much? It's because that stuff was made with love and care. And that matters a lot. If we apply love and care to every aspect of our lives, it's game changing in every single way. If people only knew how easy it is to change certain things. And the other thing is, sometimes I've said this before, I'll say it again. You got to be a little patient, because the way the universe works is like these things may operate on some sort of delay sometimes, not always though, but sometimes, because it comes from up down or from down up. And sometimes it takes a while for something to kick in, to happen. But that doesn't mean it isn't happening already. It just hasn't, fully manifested yet. There's a lot of people out there that preach about manifestation, and like I'm making money off of it, like when a lot of it is wrong. And I'm not even gonna get into it, because it's just you know how it works. If you know how it works, you know how it works. There are things that a person must do for themselves, within themselves, before any of that stuff can actually happen. And this is why, I said this in the past. People people dismiss things like this, and they talk all kinds of crap, and they're like, this is not real, it doesn't exist. Well, you haven't done anything that needed to be done in order for that to happen for yourself. So how would you know? What makes you think that your opinion has any validation? It's pretty straightforward stuff. It's not it's not some magical science. It is magical once you understand how it works and what is needed to be done in order to make it work. 100%. It's magical. Really, we have to learn how to be. Have to learn how to observe, be aware, all of these little things. Because we've been used to operate under a different operating system, so to speak. Think of it like a computer, right? If you're trying to do certain tasks and you have the proper program to do that task, it makes it so much easier, doesn't it? And life works exactly the same way. If we operate within certain parameters, then everything works out exactly how it's supposed to. So the way we treat our bodies is an integral part of how we can operate the proper way to make things happen as well. Because everything that we put out is a reflection of ourselves. It's all energetic. It's all frequency. It's all intent. If you're someone who's living in a very unhealthy state, it's gonna be extremely hard for you to build and develop your own confidence within yourself. Because let's be real here. Look, I'm not here to hurt anyone's feelings, okay? That's not my intent. You live your life however you want to live your life. But if you're someone who's like suffering from obesity, that's something that you have absolute control over it. Unless you have some sort of hormonal issue, genetic issue, there may be some outliers out there. But for the most part, in almost every case, you have control over that stuff. You can change it. The question is, are you willing to? Or are you just gonna keep sitting there munching your potato chips and drinking your soda every day, thinking that that's gonna do you any good? Sugar is horrible for you in almost any quantity. Sugar is really bad. I know it tastes good, trust me. But there have been many studies that have been made out there about sugar and how it works and its effects on our health that have proven over and over again how nasty that is to someone's health and well-being. Sugar is as addictive, it's on the same level of addiction as heroin, if not a little bit higher than that. There are plenty of studies that have proven that to be true. If you don't believe what I'm saying and what I'm talking about, go do some research. When I speak about these things, I speak because I know, because I've researched it and I understand. There are supposed to be, specific amounts of sugar that every person is supposed to consume every day. That is, they tell us that it's okay if you consume that amount. Whatever it is. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I think it's like around the 30-gram mark for men, and then for women it's a little bit less than that. It might be between 26, 28. Don't quote me on that. Look it up yourself, okay? But I know the numbers, they hover around that. Now, someone may be thinking, 28 grams of sugar, 30 grams of sugar, whatever the numbers are, that's not a whole lot. say it is. And the biggest problem is today, when you go to like a grocery store or anywhere, it's like everything is loaded with sugar. Not just sugar, they put that other crap, corn syrup, which is something that our liver cannot even process. It's been proven that our liver doesn't process corn syrup because it's like this. It's a product that doesn't naturally exist in the environment outside of ourselves. That product has to be made under certain conditions to be what it is. So corn syrup is like this man-made thing that they use. They have to use the corn to make it, but it doesn't exist naturally speaking. And that stuff is so bad that your body doesn't even know what to do with it. So now, when you're ingesting that type of stuff, whatever has that in it, it's like your liver doesn't understand. It's a foreign substance that the liver doesn't recognize, so it doesn't know what to do with it. So it just sits there unprocessed, and only God knows, what happens. I'm not a doctor, okay? I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that, I should be giving you advice on the things that are harmful to you when it comes down to foods and stuff. You know what works for you, you know what doesn't. If you're consuming a lot of things that are making you gain weight like crazy, do you honestly think that that's like good for you? Think about it for a minute. Oh, but it's so good, it tastes so good. So what? The way your body is looking from you to ingesting all those things, it speaks otherwise, doesn't it? There's one thing I really like about myself, though, is that, I'm in my 50s now. I feel like I'm doing a really good job of taking good care of myself. And I have clothes that I have from when I was like, 18, 19, 20 years old, that I still wear it to this day. And they still fit me just fine because I've kept in shape all of my life. And I don't even go to the gym. If you learn how to properly, work a good diet for yourself, you don't really have to do that. I mean, if that's what you like, that's fine. Go to the gym, work out. I've known people who had issues that, they decided to make a change to their lives, and the gym was like game changing. They can work miracles. It's great, but you don't necessarily have to do that unless you feel like you have to. There's nothing wrong with it. Use your time wisely. Do what you feel is best for you. That's all I'm trying to say. But when it comes down to your body, in most cases, you're the one who's in control. You're the one who can change things. Nobody else is going to do it for you. That's your job, to take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself, first and foremost, because no one else is going to do that for you. It's very simple. Not rocket science, okay? So that's what I really wanted to say. Take care of yourself. You will thank yourself later. And you will feel great about it. That's the thing. Take care of yourself. What are you waiting for? Don't wait until tomorrow. Start it now. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I love you all. I really do. I hope you know that. Have a good one, guys.